Super Bowl recap, surprise, and how are you really? All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
Don't fuck me now. That's how it's feeling.
This would have been the first time to let you sing. It probably would have sounded better than me, even with your weird little illness. Better than I. Whatever. Fuck you, Grimmer Ians. Hi, Amy. How are ya?
Hi, Melissa. I just want to go right on record once again
Do it.
as saying you are super accommodating. I shifted. We shifted our normal recording time in deference to the Super Bowl, which did not go the way Eagles fans would have liked, and moved it. And then I moved it a little bit later in the day so that I could accommodate some client changes.
Changes.
And I got so excited because by 10:30, everything was done so swimmingly and perfectly that I was taking a nice hot shower. I was thinking, how am I going to use the rest of this afternoon until I'm able to get blah, 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 blah. And then the wheels fell off the bus. They fell off the bus. Round and round, turned into Frisbees and exploded in my face.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it's the bus. The wheels fell off the bus. They became airborne. They all went at me like Japanese fighting stars. Like it just, everything went kerflark. That's it. That's the technical term.
Dear listener, you know when you have a project and you are so excited to be finished with it and you're submitting it everywhere it needs to be submitted, and in your head you're finished and you're already on to the next thing. And then that first thing comes back at you.
It wasn't as simple as let's flip two switches and now Bob's your uncle, but it also wasn't, how the fuck did you fuck that up? Like it was, I mean, you can sort of trace the path of, oh shit. But at the same time, I don't like oh shits. I don't like oh shits in my day. I don't want them. I get very few of them anymore. So it's good news when they come along because it's nice to ground you and remind you that they're out there in the world. And also that it's not that big a deal. You know, it's really, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a 3 bus length Chinese balloon floating over my lake. You know, it's not that big a deal. It's not a terrible call that cost you the Super Bowl. There are bigger things.
Always praise when you get to use the phrase "Bob's your uncle."
Well,
always a fan of when that turns out.
Well.
You brought it up twice now, Amy.
Yikes.
Here goes.
Yeah. Oh, yikes. Yo.
Ayer. Yesterday was the Super Bowl.
Indeed it was.
Pulling back the curtain, we record on Monday today this week. Hello. Nice to see you.
Heyo.
And ayo. And here we are the day after. There's no... All right, I do have diehard Eagle friends, family members, who assume that today for me would be a day of gloat. It is not. I don't give a fuck either way. I am sad that people I love were disappointed, but that game was so much fun to watch.
For sure.
If you don't care about injuries, brain injuries, or the future of all of these exquisite men careening into each other for brain damage so they can later kill and beat their children and wives. But that's no longer a concern of mine. This is your choice, and that's something I support across the board.
So close to a clean getaway. Yeah.
Choice.
Yeah. Okay.
So
sure. Yeah, moving past all that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think 5 more minutes, it would have tied. 7 more minutes. It was such a great matchup that I enjoyed it and looked away and played games on my phone when I heard crunch with 2 humans hitting each other. So aside of the football aspect, it was a delightful game with the super fun halftime show where we were all like, is that a baby bump? Is that a baby bump? When was her last baby? May? That's a bump. My husband had the nerve to say to me, no, honey, she just had a baby 9 months ago. And I looked him square in the stupid face and I said, how far apart are your children, sir?
Thank you. Exhibit A,
like,
your fucking dick. Okay?
They're Jewish twins, my kids.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're talking about. 9 months? I'm surprised she wasn't bigger.
No, I saw her and I immediately said, that's a pregnant woman. Like there was no doubt, especially everything about it. The way she was moving, the outfit that she chose, you know, all of it. Meaning moving
all the
and
layers.
the way that she was rubbing her stomach. Like that's just a pregnant woman. But
200 feet in the air,
I had
Amers.
exactly. I had no idea this was a reveal. I love me some. Is it Rihanna?
Yeah.
Am I saying it wrong?
No.
Is it Anna or Anna? There's a way you say
Rihanna.
it. There's a way you say it that's right.
Well, her true fans call her Riri.
Correct.
So go with that.
I don't.
Rihanna.
Somebody said it right once, and it sounded so weird. And all
Rihanna.
the people were like, "High praise, you got the name right." Whatever. It's
Isn't
like
she from Barbados?
I
or
don't
like,
know. It's
how would you
everybody
say
was
it
calling
there?
Kim Basinger the wrong name for her whole fucking career. So, and it is Basinger, by the way. So she corrected it once, and we're still going to call you Kim Basinger. So too bad. We're just
makes
going
more
to call
sense.
you who we say. That's how it works. We're the fans. We're in charge. Back to Riri.
Is that the case?
Yep.
She's
Ask
from
anyone.
Barbados. Any accent, you could say it any way you want.
She's
I'll
a
believe whatever.
businesswoman. I'm super down. I thought it was fantastic. I didn't love the way that platform was shaken. I loved that everybody on the platforms had visible harness wires holding them to the platform. But I thought, what the good's that going to do when the platform things fucking snap and you're dangling over the top of us? We now got another Hamlin DeMar situation. What's his name?
Oh,
Hamlin
no.
DeMar? His name's not Hamlin DeMar. What's his fucking name?
DeMar
DeMar
Hamlin. You
Hamlin.
wanna turn
I
it
was
over?
really close. I'm never that close. Attaboy, DeMar.
You were never that close.
His
Yes.
eyes too. Wow. I saw him talking to somebody. I was like, watch out, ladies. That's a
He's-
good looking young man right there.
You're there. You're alive.
I
you're
mean, if
all
he
the
lives, it'd be
things.
great. He's fantastic. Good for him. I'm saying the harnesses, I like seeing it. Some minor deference to safety, and at the same time, you ain't fucking safe. You saw how it was flapping up there.
Did you have any faith in those clear cords
Nope.
that were
Zero.
cross-holding all of those platforms? 200 feet in the air?
No, none. Zip, zan, na 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 na. Zana na
What?
na.
That's-
None.
And all right, I'll hit it. There were lots of, I would say, in my feed, because I don't have a ton of these guys anymore because I've really just either snoozed or just stopped allowing them to follow and following. There were several men who came out to talk about what a shitty show it was, a halftime show.
Huh?
And I was immediately convinced we were watching different Super Bowls because I thought she was fantastic. She had 12 hits that she went through. I didn't know all of them. I'll confess, Stuart and I were like, I don't know this one. But I would say 10 out of the 12, we were rocking. We were doing that chair dancing, when
yes.
your
Oh,
butt's
yes.
still, but your whole top is so in it.
My
You're-
husband knew more of the songs than I did, which I thought was a little sus, but that was okay. They had been used
No,
in
I love
sports
it.
anthos of yore.
That's
So
why he
was
knows
able
it.
to pull those up at the ready, and then we were able to watch.
I thought she was delightful
rivalry
beforehand,
videos.
saying, I'm going to have a surprise guest because everybody was like, well, Jay-Z is there. And I thought, oh my God, please bring Eminem back and let him be the monster that's under your bed. Like, I want to hear everything. And it was her baby, which was so sweet and lovely that she considered the baby the guest star. Like, just, it was delightful. So all of you old white men out there who are commenting,
It is very difficult to eke out a win in that space. I still maintain that Jennifer Lopez and Shakira had arguably one of the best, if not the best, halftime shows of all time. It was outstanding. It was amazing, culturally relevant, very entertaining,
mostly naked.
ridiculous prowess, great musicality, all the fucking things. Okay, in this case, here we have a billionaire businesswoman who doesn't even need to sing to make money, right? Who doesn't need to trot out her baby to make headlines, right? But instead, she's up there entertaining everybody on her own terms, not showing a hint of skin, and
for the
still
first time in 7 years.
everyone is talking about her body. She was dancing on a suspended platform in an open air
amazing.
stadium, right? Unbelievable. The whole thing. Just absolutely unbelievable. Like, what more did you want from her? If she showed more skin, you would complain that that's not womanly or motherly enough. If she, was dancing more vigorously, you would say she was going to hurt the baby. If she, I don't even know. There's no way that she could have threaded that needle. And honestly, I don't think she had to thread the needle. She's like, here's what we're going to fucking do.
'Cause
And
she can, yeah.
I'm wearing this nice red plastic bra, and I like this belt with my jumpsuit zipped down in my pud, and let's hit it. On we go. And everybody else can wear these stupid, we go rob the 7-Eleven outfits, and my kids will call that racist. But I hated those fucking outfits so much. And then I loved them when I found out they were all women dancing, because I thought they were a bunch of dudes. And then when they pulled up their jackets, I was like, oh, wait, even better. Thank you for not having tits on parade once again.
2 things. One, funny that the same people who complained that it was a shitty mid halftime show also said the fighter jets that went over before the
all
entire
women's squad,
game,
right?
All women's squad, were also bitching about that. And I thought,
what?
Seriously,
Okay.
like, sit down.
I wonder if you die faster when it's an all women's squad shooting at you, you stupid, stupid clown. Let's just start there.
And number 2, I loved those Stay Puffed outfits that those women were wearing,
right?
Because they were 200 feet above the ground, and in my head, they were.
I thought it was an inflatable protective device.
I thought they were like bags in case of impact. They just went and they just blew up. So
it's the style. This gigantic clothing is the style, and I mean, I'm not going to hate on people. I am not going to question Rihanna's sense of style. Period. End of complete paragraph. I will say
back to the billionaire aspect of it.
You.
It's not just for music.
Trust
it's
me,
for,
the
yeah,
woman
right.
can do no wrong.
Everything.
All right. As case in point, who came there, who had no interest in the football and had to shush people so she could fucking watch it. And you know I'm talking about Adele. They have her on the news going, shut up. With her mouth, you can see her saying, shut up. And then she pointed to the middle thing, and it was the halftime show. She was like, I don't care about football. I'm here for Riri.
And the week before, she was partying with Lizzo at the Grammys.
So
By the
excited.
way,
I'm
I
so
just
excited for
watched
her.
the Grammys, and they were phenomenal. I love that, too. Anybody have a problem with that, too? I'm on a high from all these things. And when I do scroll Facebook, which I really don't do anymore, I go right to our group and our supporters. Anyway, I loved the Grammys. I loved the Super Bowl. Here would have preferred a different outcome, but here's where we are. And it was a great game. It was super close. And it brought me to an article I read about Embedded, that I read about betting.
Oh,
You know, betting is everywhere now, right? You can
I guess, yeah.
off-track betting. That's just for races and things. But you bet on sports.
Kevin
You can
Hart
bet
wants
on
to
it.
tell you about it. DraftKings going to pay $200. Yeah.
So it's by app, right? They make it so easy. Oh my God, did you know that you could buy Powerball tickets from your phone?
I did, because I did last time. And then I thought, that was fun. I don't need to spend $20 again to not have $20. So.
Or get the fuck up away from the table or off the couch or out of the chair.
No, I mean,
and
I did it
make
because it was
inconvenient.
it was a
for me
chance
to
at-
go drop that kind of money.
No, it was a chance at billions in my case. It was the crazy
We did
change
that too.
everybody, change the entire country's life. Billion ball, but no, I'm not gonna
I
do
am upset
DraftKings on the phone. I don't think that's
about
great.
how easy gambling and betting has become
Oh,
in everyday
okay.
life. It's way too
Well,
easy.
Instacart can bring you wine and weed, so
Instacart's never brought me weed, but yes, that's an
So I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't
We'll
know.
see, as
Is
long
it the
as-
phone? Is it the phone or is it the user? That's the problem.
Uh-oh.
Well, I
The
mean,
fact
I
that
don't
you
know.
are a user, yeah.
I don't know. I don't love a lot of we'll lump them all generically together as vices. I don't love a lot of vices for sure.
So betting is the easiest thing to do now. If that is your vice, everything just became so much easier for you. And or how do you feel about betting on elections?
Why would I have a problem with this? What am I missing? Is there anything unethical about this? What's the problem? I see no problem.
That's what I'm asking. If people are betting on one candidate or another, does that give them... All right. The whole thing with elections is skin in the game, right? The
Right.
whole idea of this is in my best interest. This human best represents. Well, wait a minute. What if I choose to bet on the wrong person for the country, state, county, school board, but I can win...
Wait a minute.
Money on it.
I see what you're loading up here.
Go ahead.
In
Unpack
the
me.
fictional runoff between Sally Jesse Raphael
Go ahead.
and Dr. Phil, right?
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
in. I know
yeah.
those two candidates. Go ahead.
You don't want anybody, but as we know, You don't get to pick your candidate. You only get to cast your vote. So you're going to vote for Sally Jessy Raphael.
In a heartbeat.
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't want her, but given the choices, I would rather. So this is what you do. Now you go down to your bookmaker and you
Go
say,
ahead.
okay, Mr. Book.
Mr. Mako. That's
see,
Mr. Mako to you.
I see the odds on favorite is Dr. Phil. And I would like to lessen the sting of knowing that my candidate is so roundly going to lose. So I'm a bet on the sure thing because we know horrible Dr. Phil going to take this bout in one, right? One round of votes, he's going to take it. That's it. Election night, boom, he's in. I think Dr. Phil's going to win.
Then
So,
a bucket of chicken swung
Why
from a
don't you
tree.
get yourself, 30 grand or whatever?
How do you feel about that?
Why not? I feel like they're totally unrelated. Are they not? If you were Dr. Phil, no, I don't care about that either. Because he can't control it. If you were the election official, you should not be able to vote on the election or gamble on the election. In the same way that if you are
Athlete.
playing in the game, you should not be able to gamble on the game because you have an ability to affect
Influence.
the
Yeah.
outcome, right?
Do you hear that, Pete Rose? If you're ever wondering
Come
why
on,
shit
come
went
on. What did he
sideways,
do wrong?
Lovey.
Come on, leave him alone. He's a good man. That's all right. So tough. Whole life
So
wiped
tough.
out just to make $1. Come on. Pete, what are we going to do with you?
What are we going to do with
Can't
you,
you just
Pete?
keep it quiet? Why do you got to do it in everybody's face? Jesus. All right.
Dear listener, what do you feel about betting on elections? Are you all for it? Is it something that you think is despicable? Tell us your opinion because we know you love to reach out and share all your thoughts with us. So I'd just like to focus them on this topic for this week. Rihanna's halftime show. And should we be betting on elections? Hey, Amy, I put on the board something earlier this week, if not last week, about what is the best surprise you have ever gotten?
Holy cow.
I also put on there what's the worst surprise, but let's start at the top with joy before I share.
I think of surprise as like a surprise party. And I had a surprise party when I was 16, which I had absolutely flabbergasted. I had no idea what was getting ready to happen. I walked into the house and a whole bunch of my friends were sitting on the couch, everybody wearing bathing suits. And I was like, what is this? And my parents said, let's go. And they took us down to the boat and we all went out for the whole day and had like a whole big boating thing. And it was a total, because they can never surprise me. I always end up, and I hate it. I love being surprised. I always end up sniffing out the surprise. I don't like knowing anything about a movie before I see it, right? I don't like knowing anything about the plot because you tell me 2 or 3 sentences and I'm like, okay, I fucking know who did it.
I wrote this already.
I mean,
right?
let's just stop. So I love it when I can get surprised. And when I think surprise, I think of like a party. I'm sure there have been others, though, that just not come to mind. Why? What's your favorite? I can't think of a bad surprise. I mean, I didn't like walk in on my husband and he's doing it and our marriage is over. Surprise! Like I don't have those terrible. I did
That's
not.
great that you don't have those.
No, it's great, and I don't want those. Let me also reinforce that's not the thing that I would ever want. So,
I will tell you Stuart's worst surprise, just to give you a frame of reference and see if that jogs anything
oh
in
my
your
God,
very
you hate
snotty
surprises.
cabeza.
You hate.
I
them.
don't like surprises, but Stuart's worst surprise was for his 40th birthday. I invited 5 of his best friends and their wives to meet us, I think, in Atlantic City. It wasn't Vegas. It was very gambly. I contacted a restaurant there. They had a beautiful side room that we had all to ourselves. 40, that's 11 years ago, for those of you keeping track at home. And I lured my husband to this dinner and away with the promise of just a weekend of birthday sex. That's how he remembers it. I don't ever remember saying that because if I was going to spend a weekend nonstop in amorous activities, why would I leave my house where I have everything I need for
okay, all right,
all of the things that would
hooks
keep me
and
busy?
harnesses and okay.
Everything is here. All the toys, all the food, all the treats, like everything is lotion. Everything is here. Okay, sure, he says that, so whatever. We walk into the room where 10 other people are waiting to surprise him. And he's like, dinner and then sex begins, right? He's all excited. And he walks in and he looks around and he realizes then, A,
I know them.
no sex. It's not a weekend of sex. B, oh my God, I'm paying for this dinner. And everybody there ordered everything they've ever wanted to eat in their lives. And sweat beads started to form on his head.
Oh, come
as
on.
some of his friends ordered yet another bottle of ridiculous wine with, I'd like the Kettle One, blah, 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 on the other side of the table. Like, it just, all he saw were dollar signs. So he said to me at the time, what a beautiful surprise. Are we paying for this? Like, he lost his mind at that table. And I said, no, it is a gift. You are to just enjoy it. And it was a lie. We were absolutely paying for it. But I didn't want this thing I had planned for months with the guy who worked there and everybody to have him just freak out. So surprise parties, have they ever really been
What is wrong with you
surprise.
both? Does he actually like surprises?
He would like a surprise, and he would love it if
Because he's constantly trying to give you one, and you hate them.
Constantly hate
You
it. Yes.
hate them. I have participated in so many failed surprises for you. It's it's so stressful. It's so stupid. And the whole time I'm like, okay, I'm friends with you both. I'm trying to give you my love, Dr. Dope. But this is so stupid and ill-fated from the beginning. Because shit, I don't want it. So even if you pull it off, it's a fail. So what am I doing here? Like, I feel like I'm betraying you if you get surprised, right? And I also betray him if you're not surprised.
Right.
So
right.
how did I get into this weird love triangle with the two of you? It makes
Yeah.
I don't get it. I super
Next
don't
time,
get it.
the love triangle you want to get in on is that weekend, but at home. That's
Yeah.
the triangle you want in on.
I feel like it would be nice to work out.
For my 50th this summer, my son surprised me by showing up. He was away, far too far away to come for a surprise party, and he still did. His one day off, he showed up. It was the best. It was amazing. So, yeah, I've had bad surprises.
Surprises
like,
can work. Yes, they can work.
that was wonderful. I did check his location earlier in that day because I'm like, the only thing that could possibly make this day better. And I'm like, look at that. The boy's on the move. Let's wonder. It was fantastic. It was amazing. Bad surprise-wise, I was away in Vegas for a week, very pregnant, to get a phone call saying, this is not a viable pregnancy. Come home. So that was a terrible surprise. Right. That was a terrible surprise. But I had another one yesterday.
I had one of
And
those, but it ended up working out. I got one of those calls, actually, now that I think about
Did
it.
you?
Yeah, I was in New York. I was on a commercial shoot, and the gynecologist, I was pregnant with the third one. And the OBGYN called at 8:06 in the morning. And I was
That's
already
never good.
Yeah, and it was pouring down buckets of rain. It was an outdoor shoot. It was crazy. So I'm soaked to the bone, and I had to take this highly personal phone call. So I go in, and they're telling me over the phone. They're like, "We saw something on this scan. What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Well, what'd you see?" So now we're trying to make all these decisions. And I mean, it was just, do you want to go through another round? Her questions were, do you want to go through another round of tests, or do you just want to say cut bait and start again and try again? And I was like, how about third option? Nothing. So in any event, so we went and did a third option, was all this advanced genetic testing, and that ended up to be predictive of, it is incredibly unlikely that there's any problem here. So cross your fingers. But it was still a very nervous pregnancy until we got all the way.
I'll say.
He popped out and we're like looking at his face. Is something going on?
Looking at his everything.
Yeah,
Lift
yeah.
every appendage. We got the call that said nothing good can come from this pregnancy.
Wow. That's
And I was
not a
like-
nice surprise.
I'm like, what the and they said it again when I was pregnant with my second actual child,
Right.
and not the pre. And I thought, you know what, you guys, I'm going to go
Fool me
elsewhere
once. Yeah.
for all of these tests, and I'm going to see what they say, because now I both have the shits, can't eat anything. I don't know where this is coming from. You freaked me out. Thanks, guys. New
Right.
team, please.
Right.
I love a surprise that I honestly don't know is coming, but there's never been a human in my life who has been able to shut the fuck up, do something that's like that I would be really surprised about. So I'm not challenging anyone to do it. Leave me alone. Just continue to be a wonderful, warm human experience in my life. You do not have to surprise me. I don't know why people feel the desire to do so.
I do love a good surprise. I do.
Have you surprised your spouse ever?
I guess so. I'm sure I have. We certainly don't do the elaborate Dr. Brilliant style multi-month, excessive line item budget surprise catalogs. I mean, it's
Well, you saw how that worked out, so.
I made you dinner, surprise. I mean, I don't even know what to
nice.
say. No, I've tried to do surprises, but they also can get tricky in the form of I'm whisking you away somewhere, because it's always hard to predict that somebody can drop everything, even when you do your very level best to coordinate with somebody's schedule and block off the time and do all the things. It's always a bit of a trick. So when that kind of thing can ever get pulled off, that's like true proof of love. My favorite. So
True proof of love.
proof
of love. I will tell you that I went to Target the other day and I saw a woman I know from a doctor's office. And, it's like when the kids saw me outside of the classroom, they would be like, oh, that's our teacher. And I was like I was like, hello.
Quick, take them pennies out your mouth. Yeah.
You had to see it. It was the funniest thing. I said, hey, how are you? When somebody asks you, how are you? Do you have a loaded answer to that?
No. I just go right in. For a couple of years there, pre-COVID years, it wasn't so much a decision as it just started happening. I would answer honestly. And if I had a lot to say, I would do it. And I would tell them exactly how I was doing. And if it wasn't great, I would be sharing that. Or if it was really great, I would get really specific. It was never like, we're all doing so well. How are you guys? Like, I'm back there now. But pre-COVID, I went through a couple really awkward years where people's eyes would get very big and they'd be like, this is not, you missed my social cue. What I'm doing is saying adult greeting, move on. Like, I don't want the play-by-play. We're not having cocktails. We're staying in the parking lot. Get away from me. Yeah.
So is that your cue of how honest to be, the location of the question? Is that your cue? Like, we're in a parking lot, or we're online at Target, or I'm not going to bite off more than you can chew. Like, what? How do you decide?
No, I'm still pretty honest. If I had some kind of terrible diagnosis that I was dealing with, or if, the house had just burned down or something, I would allude to the fact that, it's been pretty challenging. How are you guys doing? And then I don't do it in such a way where I've forced that person into a conversation they don't want to have, but I also don't gloss over whatever's really happening. What I've noticed since COVID, at the tail end of COVID and whatever we're in now, that women in particular, who I never in a million years would have expected to be open and honest about hardship and negativity, somehow just dumped it all out on the table at cocktail talk. Hey, how you doing? It's been really hard. We had this go wrong. We had that go wrong. COVID's really done a number on these kids. These are the kids that are, how many Ivy League honors offers with money will we receive? Oh, darn it. Only 7. It's like, or whatever the fuck, I don't even know how many Ivies there are. So
8, the ancient 8. Yeah,
okay,
maybe
so
9 if you're throwing Stanford.
So my point to you is, I don't know that they were concealing anything before, but they certainly led the way in being very genuine. And it was so refreshing and relatable. And I was instantly able to feel a kinship with them, that they would trust me with something that seems personal in that. Like, it was just such a true delight to have somebody actually engage in a conversation instead of, I'm in a lot of, I'm in Twin Set City. We got a lot of conservative people here who are walled off in old school waspy ways. So to actually have somebody voluntarily poke that balloon and start sharing was great. And I love it because, I'm a big sloppy, chaotic, let's talk about it and come on in the chaos. It's warm and mushy in here.
These friends of yours, while at cocktail parties, are slightly different than an acquaintance of mine, like the medical receptionist at the plastic surgeon's office, who is fucking delightful and so sweet. And let me check and see if there's a coupon for you. So nice. I hear about her family trips with her kids and her grandkids, and they're all staying at the lake house. How are you, Carol? Well, I'm like, that is not encouraging. She said, my husband dropped dead in November.
Holy shit, Carol.
I'm next online in Target. She just finished checking out, and I just felt like the weight of that hit my chest, and I lost my breath for a minute. And it's very similar to a dear friend of ours who also lost her husband 10 years ago. She said, and if one more fucking person tells me, I guess this is a new normal for you. And I said, you're going to stab him? Are you going to stab him? Like, yeah, I was all of a sudden all in on her side, but I was not expecting to hear someone else's trauma, which is exactly what that is,
right,
on the in the checkout line. So that checkout line where you sit down and you take your time because of lonely seniors, like this is like maybe another idea for therapy where you just let's walk around. That's actually when I was in social work school. That was I started on a thesis that I left behind. If anybody else would like to pick it up, feel free, about therapy being done in cars or while playing video games
with comedians and getting coffee
in cars, maybe. But if you're not sitting across and staring at somebody and feeling judged, it's much easier to share your thoughts. So to walk around Target with carts and just hear therapy that way. Absolutely loved it. Wanted to write my paper on it.
Have you been watching this show on Apple called Shrinking?
Not yet.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It dances around this very idea, this very concept that you're talking about. It dances around it. I'm not going to say another word because I really, I love it.
List.
I love it. I think you would love it on its merit. And knowing that this is a particular area, I think you're going to love it even more. The characters on there are just so worth it, and the plotting and pacing is very good. So I
love the actors, so I'm all in, and it's next on our list. Actually,
it's bright, it's smartly written, and it feels very young. It feels like there's some young writers on there, which I like.
I love that.
Yeah. So anyway,
I could expect to hear an emotional dump from any one of those people, and I did not expect it in Target. And I wanted to do something for her, and there's nothing I can do, right? There's no role I can play in a nicety or a charmity or anything like that.
Well,
is there?
There's always something that you can do. Let's start there. So I want to disabuse you of that notion. There is absolutely always something that you can do. I frankly believe that we are all called in divine timing to have the interactions that we have. So there was a reason on some level that you were there that day, that moment, where she opened up to you in that way. And that could have been the beginning and end of it. It could have been that was all that was needed. You may have been the first person that she spoke that out loud to. So you could have already served this purpose in the form of
I hugged her too.
She had
got
a comfort level with you and a distance with you where she could get in and get out safely. I mean, you don't know. So there's never discount what has happened or what can happen by your involvement in it. The next part where it gets a little complicated is making the decision. You don't have a traditional relationship with this woman. You're not friends. You've never gone and socialized together, right? So now you just share this information about her. You can express compassion. You could write her a lovely note and send it to the office. Just saying, I just wanted to acknowledge, what you shared with me. I've been carrying that around and saying some special intentions or prayers or whatever you have, and you're thinking of you in a positive way. Sending, I lit a candle. I did whatever it is that you're going to do to memorialize that conversation and honor it and her willingness to share it with you, and just give that back to her. So she can then use that as more evidence of the specialness of her relationship with her husband. Because that's really what this all is about.
Right.
Making sure that he is acknowledged, right? That's the reason she told you. Partly because life sucks and it's almost impossible for her to breathe in and out right now. But also the reason for that is because of the specialness of that person in her life. So to simply acknowledge it with a piece of paper, or in your case, an overwhelming box of sweets, right? I think
that's where I go to, but I don't think that that's really appropriate, is it?
I don't know, only because she's at a plastic surgeon's office. So I don't understand what the rules are in
Right.
the beauty landscape, right? I don't know if you have to send like smaller treats or
That's not like me.
sucralose, or I don't know how it works.
Oh, gross.
But I don't
I've
know.
given you diarrhea because trauma isn't
Collagen
enough.
pops. Like, I don't know what you'd send.
There you go. You're
right?
getting closer now.
Okay. Little
So
something.
a note would be enough because again, you said it straight out. My inclination is to lead with carbs, right?
Sure.
That's how I share love. Like, oh, I just picked these up at the Amish market. They're Miami rolls. It's an onion roll, which is incredibly soft, like pillows of. I don't need to explain that, do I? Like,
No,
it's
and you know what? Be true to yourself. So what? Get the fucking rolls and drop them off, and don't write the note, and make sure that you hand them just to her and say, these aren't for the office. These are for you. I just wanted to acknowledge that I remembered our conversation. I'm thinking about you, and here's something sweet for today.
that's really all I want to
Kiss,
do.
kiss, peace out. Yeah, because the note is, in my view, I would do the note, right? But it also, it can be very personal and very transformative to the recipient. And if that's maybe more than you want or need to do, be true to yourself. Bring her the food, which, even acknowledging and receiving it, it's a gift from you. How many times she gets gifts there? Not a lot. I guarantee you, not a lot. She probably gets a lot of people who want to take their puffed up lips and point their finger at her and say, yaka taka 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 taka, I don't like.
That's so interesting that you say that because when I go to a doctor's office, I bring treats for the staff. I just, that's who I am. I've never done that when going to get Botox. Like I walk in, I don't know why. I've never considered it, but I've never done that at that office before. Maybe because they charge me ridiculously and the other offices are like, oh, no, it says here in your folder, no copay. And I think,
Yeah, I think you see it as you're frankly a customer. And in other healthcare environments, you probably don't see yourself as a patient, a customer. You see
Maybe.
yourself as a member of the club or whatever that might be called.
Amy has an illness
sorry.
right now. And while she's Fleming on all of us, dear listener, she also has sunlight pouring in the room where she's hanging out right now, blinding her. So my half of the screen is like, all right, I showered barely. It's like a TPA shower. You guys know what that is? Tits, pits, and ass kind of shower. You wash all of the essential parts. Aim, you know what that is? A TPA shower?
Well, we don't call it that, but yes,
do you
we
call
call
it?
it when you're getting a little Frenchy. You got to do a little quick wipe. So
Quick wipe.
we call it getting Frenchy. So
Okay, we do the
tits, piss, and
Yeah,
ass is what
TPA
you're
shower,
doing.
yes.
Yeah.
So I just finished telling dear listener that you were being assaulted in the eyeballs with the sunlight because it's not bad enough that you're leaking out of every hole in your head. Let's
I'm
make it
just so grateful for you for being flexible on timing, and so grateful for everyone else for listening to the sounds of phlegmophone that are coming through this time. I don't love it. It's not COVID. If it's COVID, Paxlovid. It's none of those. It's super not. This is my son.
again.
A fucking again. Rolling around in all of his late teen years, picking up all this bougie McDirt town, rolling in it like a fucking dog, and coming home and all over the rest of
Are
us.
you going to tell us when he's made a
Again.
commitment to where he is going to be spending the next 4 years of his life?
Well, we're debating it right now. He got deferred at his number one choice, and that means instead of taking him as early decision is the way that he went. So if they said yes, he'd have to revoke all his other offers and immediately be in. So it was a kind of a, I'm in, and they're like, yeah, we're not. So instead of telling him months ago, they said we're going to decide at the end of March. So that's not really great because now you can't, you've got all these offers, from the other places that he's applied, which is a good thing. So we're trying to decide what will be the best plan. And he's gotten a couple extra letters of recommendation, and we're trying to beef up the thing. And I'm still holding out hope that he's going to get there. And I've said this before. It's so expensive at this school. It's more than double the cost of his tuition at high school, and the tuition at high school is arguably astronomical as it is.
Right.
So this is this is a crazy amount of money to pour into getting some letters. Having said that, it has some prestige to it. So I mean, you're getting what you pay for. So the thought then becomes, okay, well, if you really do want to go there, maybe let's go to the state school that is also highly reputable, that is also great, that is less than half of what your high school tuition is. And you can go there for a year or even 2 and then maybe play the transfer train. So I don't love it. I want him to land where he's supposed to be. And I also know that I don't know anything. So I'm trying to just throw my hands up in the air and release it all and know that he's actually become such a better person in the past 6 months. It's astonishing. It's not credible. I don't know how it happened. He
Personal
had
growth, yeah.
He had a big stumble. I love saying every 6 months you get a new kid because their development, they just turn into totally different people. So the good news is the kid we know has emerged again, right? And so I don't have any fear. I know that he is off to great things. It would just be easier if he was off to very great and expensive things with another buddy that, it would make it all tied up with a neat little bow. So, you know how it is. You know how it is. You can't predict not then. Not then, not then.
Especially
not then,
now.
Not then.
Especially now. It's even less predictable, if that's at all possible, than it ever was. And everybody who knew, remember all the consultants that you go to who know this system, how it works, and how they are just as fucking clueless. After we pay them, by the way, they are just as fucking clueless as we are as parents. But I do think the advice or the story or the situation you just described will also be super helpful. For a couple of weeks ago, we had a dear listener write in about her son and issues that she had with him. And your advice just now of every 6 months you get a new kid, there's child. That's also something I would tack on to advice that you gave, which was amazing last time. And
well, thank you for that. It's the truth is, as I continue to learn every day that I walk on this planet, right? You can't control it, you can't predict it. So it's just think about what's the desired outcome of this experience, and the desired outcome of university is not going to the world's most prestigious place so that you can thumb it in other people's noses. It's to become who you are. It's to find your passions for life. It's to build the relationships that are going to carry you into the next chapter. It's to grow and expand and do a trial adulthood where you thrive and succeed. What I don't want is to send somebody off where they're going to fail, to reach so far for something that there's no chance but failure. That's the worst kind of experience. We've lived through what shitty experiences can be. Let's go for some success. So I'm looking for the right fit, and the rest of it is vanity on my part. So I just have to let all that go.
Yes.
And I went to some great shakes places, but I also didn't, I wasn't going to fucking Harvard. Fuck them kids. Yeah.
F them kids. Speaking of fuck them kids, I'm curious to hear if you have ever had your children at any point apologize for you. I know you sit on a sideline for maybe 2/3 of your life, and I'm wondering, because you always tell stories of your extreme decorum, if your children have ever said to other people, friends, grown-ups, any refs, anywhere, look, she's upset, she's having a day, or I apologize for my parents or my mother. Have your kids ever done that for you?
Well, not in the way that you would think. Frequently in the lower and middle school, all school art fair, my children would admonish me loudly, "Mom, language," because I'd be walking through the halls and I would just be so stunned at the caliber of the work that was there that I'd start swearing, as I normally do. So they would be quick to chastise me there. But fortunately,
not to
I don't
other
have
people.
No. I've gotten shushed in one or two ways that feel like an apology, but it was to me about me. Nobody's ever on my behalf had to go and do the arms on the shoulder, calm down, cool down. Let's turn the radio back on. Let's not call the cops. It's like, no,
Right.
none of that. I don't have any.
Everything's okay, officer. I'll
We're
take
gonna
care
be
of
all
her.
right. We're gonna be all right. Can you get her a hot dog? Yeah. No, I don't have any of those. Not that I'm aware of. If they're doing it, they're so stealthy. Surprise! I don't know that it's happening.
Ooh, a surprise.
Why? Why do you bring this up? I wonder.
Now that you've said that, I have been told as we're walking into their school, like the high school. I've been told, language, mom, like watch your mouth.
Oh,
like, watch
as
what
a
you
prep.
say.
Let me set the expectations for you, parent, before you embarrass me.
Which is what I have
I'm not gonna do that.
always,
I'm gonna embarrass you.
always
Get
done
ready.
to my
Yeah.
children. So
Yeah.
it is completely fair for them to turn it back to me and say, hey, I really like this teacher that you're about to meet. Could you not? I'm like, what?
Fuck
Be
it up.
me? And they're like, no, just your language, mom. I'm like, fuck you and your friend too. So, but we were out to dinner with one of our kids, and to the waiter, they said, I'm so sorry. Talking about their parents, that would be me, sitting
What
at
did
the
you order,
table.
stupid?
You have trained me to order well. So clearly I have not ordered stupid.
I hope not.
I
would
would
be amazed.
never.
I haven't seen it. Okay.
You taught me so well. And I thought after the waitress left, I said, what the fuck was that? Why do I embarrass you? Is that what you're saying?
That's when like you pick up the spoon and crack him in the temple and then also say, you buying this meal, you stupid ass clown.
Meals on you. And they said with a straight face, I just saw the look on the waitress's face, and it was like she was judging us. And I was like, that is not. This generation feels they can
Number
read
one,
the room better than
teens can't identify emotion on people's faces. They did like a whole fucking study.
I would
Somebody
love to
with
know
all
that.
their science, bring it. Yes, they did multiple studies that teens can't properly identify emotion on people's faces. You have to be like a certain age with your frontal cortex and all your dingle dangles and all the fucking brain matter. So shut up. How about it? See, I know science.
I wanted to say shut up. This has been the science segment of Brilliant Observations.
You could trust it. It's better than TikTok. I'm just here to tell you. You can find that study and it will prove you right. I don't like that you were pre-apologized for. I don't like it. Because
about-
number one, no.
Okay.
There's several. We got to break this down because there's a lot of things that I dislike. Number one, don't apologize for me. I fucking take care of myself. I'm doing what I need to do.
And I can
Nobody
apologize
asked for your apology.
myself when that time is appropriate.
Well, maybe I don't like her and I want her to be fatutzed. Well, you don't know. How do you know my story? Stay out. Number one, mind your business. Number two, I'm the adult. You're the child. Shut up and be grateful somebody's buying you a dinner.
How long you
Number
think
three,
I've been
fuck
ordering
you.
food? Like
Yes.
I think I'm kind of an expert. I literally don't cook. I think I'm an expert on ordering food at a restaurant. And Amy,
There's
Amy
more.
taught
There's
me.
more. There's
Go
more
ahead.
things. There's more. But they all really start with fuck you. I mean, I'm sure there's a longer list.
No, I like that
I
one.
feel like I could diversify why. But it's just so, I don't care for it. Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. No, sir. No, ma'am. No. I say no.
I assumed that there would be some one of your three children who played lacrosse that turned to you and said, "Would you shut the fuck up? I am trying to."
No, they argue. No. I will say this. Whether it's because of the way that we regularly communicate with each other or maybe we just got lucky, but they will take up their issue with the person directly. So if they have an issue with me, they take it up with me, right? I didn't order a cheesecake in the way that was to everyone's standard. So we still have to fucking talk about Cheesecake Gate, and I'm fucking sick of it, okay? And I was right, and you don't know how things work. But also, no, that is one where they have long, lengthy opinions, and they bring them up to me because they don't like the interaction that happened with the waitress, and they believe me to be in the wrong. But they didn't go to the waitress and say, this was the fourth number on the list, and it should be number one, frankly, because I just remembered it. And it is, you on fucking my team. You're not on the wait staff team. You stick with me. Where's your loyalty? I will smack you with the spoon and help you find it. Guess what? Your loyalty with me.
There's a lot of
You don't like
spoon
my
violence
cheesecake?
going on
Too
here.
bad. You don't like my cheesecake? Too bad. You want Team Cheesecake. Get used to it, and we'll talk about that shit quietly at home. That's how it is. Don't drop a dime on your parents. What the fuck?
Yeah, I agree. We're the ones who are tipping her. She is doing everything she can to
You work for me.
ingratiate herself
Both of
here.
you.
Right.
You
Both
work
of
for
you.
me. Both of you,
Yes.
child. You work in service of me, number one, and my good name. So you better recognize and fix it. Unbelievable. I don't know. What did you? What
I don't know.
all because of a look?
Yeah,
Was this
I mean,
a look
it was
over food? Was
it
it
was
hot?
a
What was the?
question or calling the waitress over. You know, kids in this generation do not want
Ugh.
any conversations with people, never a phone call, never an in-person. There was something that one of my kids needed to do, and I said, well, let's just go over to whatever this is while we were on campus. And they said, no, 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 no. I'm just going to do it online. That way I don't have to talk to anyone. So anytime, I guess looking at it now, anytime I'm talking to someone where I'm asking a question because I don't know, or for clarification, they both get like a little squirmy, like, oh God, there's a it's not you. I'm an expert at this. It's a person-on-person crime, and that's my forte. Why are they freaking out? And now it's becoming clear that it's an exchange with which they have no experience.
That's why they can never talk on the fucking phone.
That is so upsetting. And I think that was way before COVID. That's a generational thing, not a
I hate talking on the phone, let's be honest. But
I
I will
agree.
do it if I have to, get some shingles or whatever. I'm going to talk to you on the phone. That's the way that works. I'm not going to be, I'll buy a car and pay 18% over MSRP so that I don't have to physically speak to somebody at the lot. Really?
I got to
That's
tell you, though,
stupid.
that online thing is for car purchasing is killer. They will
You're
give you a
terrible.
better price there. So if you do that and then go in and just sign papers, you're doing it the smarter way. So they play a lot of games in the showroom. Little Bobby Weavy, dodgy lefty, dodgy righty. What's it going to take to put you in this cheesecake today? I don't know.
Look, I was right about that cheesecake. Let me just say, she told me for dessert that they had key lime pie, and she brought me a key lime pie cheesecake.
That's a very different animal.
And I said, I said, I ordered the key lime pie. She goes, this is it. And I said, oh, you said key lime pie. This is cheesecake. And she said, well, I don't really know the difference.
Well, that's something you might want to
And
figure
I
out
looked
as
at
a
her.
waitress.
I
Yeah.
looked at her quizzically. I looked at her and I said, well, I wouldn't have ordered it if I knew it was cheesecake because I really wanted the key lime pie. And she went, oh, and walked away. Right? So I don't even need to end this fucking sentence because you already know.
Oh my God! Bye.
You already know. You already know. So
I'm not even saying you don't tip her well.
it's all
I'm
fine.
saying you
no,
take that.
It's all fine. It was removed from the bill, and we ate it, and then off we go. And I still have to hear about cheesecake, fucking Kate, because
How long
I'm
ago
like,
was that?
It's a summertime, so
Okay.
it's maybe summer of last 2022 summer. We're on
Wow,
a patio.
they are beating the shit out of that. The one story that
It's not my fucking fault.
I can't live down. Oh, I can't believe I'm volunteering this towards the end of a podcast. All right. When my kids were super little, got tickets. Yes, Sister Rose is dead. Got tickets for a show in Philadelphia, something on ice. Some sort of, I don't know if it was like the Little Einsteins on ice, but like something for these little children. And when we went to the show in the snow, in a blizzard, but they weren't going to cancel anything, I didn't get any notice that anything was canceled, so we went anyway. And even if we got there and they canceled, we're in Philadelphia now. We'll walk around. So we took the train into the city, another train to like a subway to where we wanted to be, and then we walked in inches and inches of snow. One kid on my husband's shoulders, the other on my hip, walking. Get there. I had the wrong date.
Oh shit! Uh-oh. Yeah, I've done that a lot.
It's not over. Oh, good. That makes me feel so
No,
much
I fly to the wrong fucking city. I fly to the wrong city on the wrong weekend and show up at your house. I've done that twice. 2 different cities. Yeah.
Where did you go and where should you have been?
I went to New York to see Aaron on the wrong weekend. So then we just had a fun weekend. And then I came back the very next fucking weekend and had the weekend that we were supposed to have with the other people coming because I'm a stupid. And the other time,
God, a flight.
yeah. The other time, I think it was Austin, maybe. I think. I don't know. Maybe it was New York again. I don't know. Could have been Philadelphia. Could have been Baltimore. I've done it a lot. I mean, it could have been. I mean, that's the other thing. We were talking about speeding tickets. I mean, how many speeding tickets have you had? Have we covered this already?
No. Speeding tickets?
I was surprised. Is the theme of this show? I was surprised to learn
Yeah.
that my volume and frequency
I got
of
one.
moving violations is on the high end of the spectrum.
Okay,
So,
I'm gonna unpack this shit. Please hold. First of all, Do
You want
not
to save this till next week?
No,
I got a lot
I
on
mean,
this topic.
yes and
I got
no.
a lot on this topic.
But do you not shit your pants now when you see a police officer because it's such a common thing for you? Because
no, I mean, no. I mean,
well,
no,
because you're
I mean,
white. That's
No,
why.
fair. I don't shit
You're
my
a white
pants.
woman. Yeah.
I don't shit my pants because I can't win for fucking losing. I have to get shit. Why are you driving so slow? You got this big car with the blah
Hemi.
blah blah.
You
with
got
the
a Hemi.
Right. Why don't you floor it, pin it, do all the blah 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 blah? And then I go crazy. They're like, "Whoa, take the turn a little slower. I'm gonna fall out of the car." I'm like, "Which is it? I get too many tickets. I don't get enough tickets. I get the cake. I don't get the cake."
So who
I've
told
had
you
it.
that you don't get enough tickets?
I'm not talking about this. It's a whole fucking thing. It's a whole fucking thing. I'm just trying to say. It's like the gas thing. I've started putting gas in the tank.
Yay! Is it
I
Thursday?
mean-
It's gas day.
No, not like that. But I mean, I will if I'm out and I look down and there appears to be on the low side of gas. I might think to myself, "Is this an opportunity for you to put gas in the tank?" And I mean that's progress.
Well, that's new, so that's amazing.
yeah. And if it's convenient and the kind of gas that I like, then I'll do it. And if not, then I can't be bothered. And off I go. So.
Convenient. That's good. I once bought tickets to see Dear Evan Hansen in New York,
Uh-oh.
and we drove to New York from Philadelphia. We got a hotel room for a couple of nights, and we
Oh no.
we made plans with. Yeah, it was for the wrong night that we were there, and they scanned our tickets. Arrogance. They scanned our tickets, and they're like, wrong night. You missed this. It was last night. So
What?
to this very day, my husband says to me, like we had tickets. Remember last weekend we went to see Sarah Silverman, and he said,
Oh my god.
"Are you sure it's tonight?
I
Are you
can't
sure
be married to
it's
him
this
anymore.
weekend?"
You did it twice.
I
You
did.
did it twice.
I did it
so
twice.
now you have no room. He has the legal
over for me.
obligation to check every fucking time. And you got to stand there and eat that shit sandwich like
do.
a canapé.
I do.
A canapé
A
every
canapé.
fucking time.
Yeah, and those
Like nap.
canapés taste like Tushy. They are not
Oh my
enjoyable
God.
canapés.
I don't.
Twice
envy
I did it.
you.
So now it's, are you sure? Or, oh, I see our flight leaves at, do you have the right day and time? So now I'm like, you know what? You do everything. That's fine. You buy the tickets.
Oh, when we
you
went
do.
to Chicago, I booked the wrong flight. I forgot about that. When we most recently went to Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah, I booked
With
the
all
wrong
those
return
children
flight.
and
Yeah, and my friends are so fucking charming. They just folded their hands in their lap, looked me in the face, and they extended the trip to accommodate so we could all fly home instead of me just staying the extra day by myself or staying with one or two people. Like I was like, we can just split up, and they're like, no, we're not going to split up. We're here on a group trip. I'm like, wow, I feel really repetitive because I do this a lot. Ding,
Thanks,
ding,
guys.
ding, 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 ding. Yeah, it was not cheap.
I absolutely can never do it again, or I can never get upset about somebody. I've walked into rooms and said, "Can somebody just check and make sure that all of your boarding passes have today's date
I
on
think
them,
that's
please?"
good news. That you're learning. That's a
I am
learning
learning.
robot.
I don't
I'm
even
proud
get
of
mad
you.
anymore when mocked about it because I fucked up. And they said you can bring your tickets back and exchange them because they were never scanned because they weren't used because you're an idiot. I mean, that's a technical
That's
term.
crazy
but
nice. That's crazy nice.
Yeah, so they
But
were
they can only honor them on a night when they have a seat for you, which is never.
well, it was never because it was like 5-7 years ago. And for a solid 5 to 7 years, there was never a single seat available, especially for family. We've since seen it twice, but not with those tickets. And I might still have those tickets. So if anybody's going to New York and wants.
I booked a group dinner for the lacrosse team in the wrong city. Did I tell you about that?
No.
Do you remember that?
No.
I had to do a team dinner. Well, I don't get a lot of notice for these things, and somehow I turn out to be the person who is tasked with, hey, we need a table for 67 folks with 6 extra stragglers who forgot to tell you they're coming. Can you make that happen by 4 p.m. today? Right. So I'm always working this kind of fucking magic. So I did it. And I got the thing all sorted out. And then when I got the return call, we were talking, and I was like, God, this name sounds so familiar. And I was hearing the words Cafe Pasta because I thought that we were going to Cafe Pasta in Delaware. And instead, we're going to Cafe Pasta in Greensboro. So when the guy called me back and I'm like, that's so odd that you have a Greensboro number. And he's like, why? We're in Greensboro. I'm like, well, fuck, I don't need your I don't need your group dining hall. I mean, we had taken like an hour to set the whole thing up. I gave him a card, everything.
I'm going to need to cancel tonight's 67-person reservation.
Yeah. You're getting a picture.
You're saying you're going to keep $100 because you told other people.
No, he let me off. He let me off the hook with fucking laughing. I mean, that's the other thing. When you do some shit that is so completely stupid, that people love to help you. They think, you know what? This is my good deed for the day. I'm gonna let you go, and then I'll be fine.
Your motto is that people love to help. I honestly feel like people love to mock. I feel like that's
some people do love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to be mocked, and that might be part of the reason I don't leave home very often. But it's gross, and I try now to check dates. I recheck dates. I check dates again. For example, James Taylor is back on tour for this summer, and I thought, wouldn't that be lovely to see James Taylor on tour? I've seen him.
Hilarious.
I would guess 50 to 60 times in my life. And I'm a huge fan. There's not a single song he could sing where I would say, skip, which is what I do at other concerts. And I still looked at the date. I'm like, July 1st. What is that? July 1st. I should not be trusted to buy tickets. And I did not. Well, I did look, and they were over $300 a seat. And I thought, did I not mention I've seen you almost 60 times? I'm good. I could use that $600 for something else and put
good for you.
5
good
discs
for you.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. The prices of everything are so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I changed a recipe because the prices were so. That's what I was trying to tell you before. I forgot until this moment. I found a foodstuff that the price was too high for me to eat it. And I walked away, and I changed I had company coming. I went out specifically to get this ingredient, and I wouldn't buy it. And I said, well, I'm making something else because fuck you and fuck you.
Where do you get off charging that for peanut butter? I mean,
it
eggs.
was
I mean,
blueberries. It was blueberries.
Yeah.
Blueberries. Bullshit blueberries. Okay? Now, I get that they're going to be a little bit high, you know? I get it. I get how that works. Blueberries. 12 ounces. 12 ounces. 12 ounces of blueberries. $9.99.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say no. I'm going to have to say
you're so far over your skis on this one. You just have to what are you
face
thinking?
plant. Yeah, I don't know cuz they were they exceptional? Were they from somewhere where they're actually really in season and
Nope. The organic ones were more than that. It was idiotic. I walked over to the frozen section. I looked for frozen fucking wild blueberries, which there they were. And for a 32-ounce bag, it was $11. Now, nobody likes fucking frozen
It
blueberries.
doesn't matter. That's what you're getting.
They're not great. But they were going into pancakes. And at a certain point, these blueberries is going to be cooked. So, shut up. That's what we're having. But also, it makes me angry. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of things
I'm
going
sure
up
there
like
are other
this.
things that we're going to phase out because where do you get off charging
$10 for blueberries? I mean, if I'm getting $10, somebody better give me a hand job in the back seat and, I don't know, get my hair done and I got textbooks. It's something. A lot of things need to come for $10. $10? Are you kidding me?
I got to tell you, I think you could get more for a hand job.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm
minimum 20.
Do I have to pay? I forgot. I got lost in this analogy. So
You
I
get
don't really
paid.
want a hand job in the back seat.
No, but
or
you should.
textbooks. All the things. All I want is the blueberries.
Oh my God, my child in college texted me, "Are you mad?" I'm like,
Oh, no. Not yet.
Why? They just bought college textbooks and that shit ain't cheap.
No.
That is outrageous. And you need them. They waited for the start of school and classes to make sure that they needed everything that was on the list. And then they went to buy it. But, and I said, look, you need it. You need it. It's that simple. I do want to let you know that one of my kids is going to call you potentially or text you soon. I know it's a conversation. I don't know if they'll lean in, but there's an opportunity for a trip to Italy.
Oh.
And they get to choose this trip through the University of Delaware, they get to choose the cities that they're going to stay in for one of their courses that they're taking
Nice.
there. And I said, you know who really would have some insight, because she did a lovely, very high-end tour of Italy?
Oh,
Aunt Fugazi.
there you have it. I will
so-
tell you what I know, which ain't a lot, but also comes with lots of passion and love.
And that's why everyone here, dear listener, myself included, turns to you. And on that
Aw.
note, I want to thank everybody for coming and showing up and being here and supportive of us and our silly little podcast, which isn't that little or that silly. So
There you have it.
thanks for playing, and come play again soon. We love you guys. Oh,
You do.
brilliantobservations@gmail.com. What your job is to write and talk about betting on elections. I want to know if regulations around it would make you sign on more or less small bets and keeping people interested by hedging bets. That didn't come to be a phrase for no reason. brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Go on to the socials at Listen Brilliant or Facebook, Brilliant Observations or Brill Up Squad. We want to hear everything you have to say so we can judge you for it.